Phil over here. I'm a computers. David is a local business owner. He owns small business outfitters. It's kind of a consulting group, and he does a lot of stuff with finances and marketing. And if you want to tell them something else, I know I don't do an adequate job.
Just help the small business owner increase their capacity.
Yeah, that's what his business is to help folks increase their capacity. And then my other friend Brian, they're here. Brian lived here several different times. Brian has his own plumbing company now. He's got 3 trucks on the road, and so he's swamped busy all the time. So, he stopped in tonight a little bit. Shake hands. Anyway, we'll try to get on started with some of this stuff that we prepared for you. So we may not go exactly the way I prepared it, but we'll do what we can. Okay? Go to the other PowerPoint. So, a little bit about me. I've known Richard Kennedy probably for about 27, 28 years. I started a nonprofit, did business about the same time I started paying out, so we go back quite a ways. And so when I started talking to Clint, another friend of mine,
what's up, gentlemen?
Hey, folks.
How are y'all?
All right, myself.
Pretty good.
and he is also a local businessman, and he does a lot of stuff with human resources, if I understand right, and he does a lot of consulting, business consulting as well, and so forth. So, anything else, just briefly about what all you get into?
What all am I into? I'll give you kind of a little short synopsis from the beginning, kind of up to today. I was born an entrepreneur. I have been a person that has tried to figure out how to make money on just about everything you can possibly think of. I did a lot of stuff you weren't supposed to do in the beginning as a probably teenager, and then later figured out that it's a whole lot easier to do it the right way, and uncovered resources and dug into things and tried to figure out, loopholes and legal loopholes and all the things like that. So I came this evening because to be able to, you guys, if you're starting a business or you're operating a business, no matter how big or small, I mean, there are things that I still don't know. There's probably things that you guys don't know. So if I can do that makes sense or saves you a headache or a problem, feel free to ask. So I mean, I've started a landscaping business right out of college, me and a buddy. We're trying to cut grass, and then 9 months later, 184 properties, 6 employees, 2 trucks, 2 trailers, $20,000 worth of equipment. So I mean, you don't have to do that, but people are always trying to sell something, buy something, seeing an opportunity to make money. And a lot of times people feel like there's an obstacle, but there's always 15 ways around it. And a lot of them, there's resources out there. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
I didn't want to skip that first video. I'm just going to talk about venture call is the name of my business. Okay? And what we do is there's kind of 3 different subsidiaries of venture call, and they're kind of here. Venture call really is trying to encourage and educate and equip folks who are trying to look for a purpose-filled life. So it's even more than just starting a business. It's like all of us want our lives to count. You guys are restarting, in the recovery community, and we're all ready with us restarting ourselves. And so that's what we're trying to do in the big umbrella. How do we go about doing that? What we do is we have what we call the Evelyn Startup Community. that's a weekly lunch. And we meet at different restaurants around town every Monday, and it's from like 12 to 1. Okay? Everybody just buys their own lunch, so there's not a cost to pay, and then we just come. So like we met today at, what did we meet today?
Sharon's work.
Sharon's barbecue, okay? And so you've always got, transportation or whatever. So everybody just buys their own lunch. That's all it is. Then you get to meet folks. You get to meet these guys. All these guys into those lunches. Some of them are able to come on a regular basis. So it's just for mutual encouragement. One thing about the Avenue Startup community, every second Monday of the month, I bring a guest speaker. And that guest speaker will talk about how they started their business, or they'll talk about some aspect of business, that's beneficial to folks. Once again, that's free. Some of you, I know you're new, Marcel, to Abilene, but we meet at Potter's Pizza, which is down in Buffalo's Gap Road, where that's at, because they have a meeting room. We have guest speakers, and it's still free. I mean, you can come, and if you don't want to buy your lunch, it's still free. Otherwise, you just watch your action. So that's a weekly thing that we do. The business clinic is a once-a-year thing. We do that in the spring of every year, and that whole idea is to be able to help equip folks, small businesses, with practical tools. So somebody like Clint or David would work in that arena. A lot of times we get people like that to talk about specific things about how to run a business, and the right things to do to make a business go and be successful. And then every fall, we have what we call the Enterprise Exchange. And in fact, that Enterprise Exchange is next Monday. Next Monday. And that's where we bring non-profit, organizations, for-profit, small businesses together to talk. And try to see what we call best practice. What can we learn from each other? Because I'm a big believer that we can learn as much from you as you can learn from us, right? We just have to open the conversation so that we can talk, so those are three expressions of what I do when I run a venture. Okay, David? So this, what I call get legit, and you've heard me and I send the text out. Well, except for Celine, he hasn't got any text from me because it just came to me, but you guys are getting the text from me, right? And so I've got a group in my phone and I send the text. And I've seen this picture. This is kind of where some folks are. Some folks say in the 1-8 house where a lot of businesses start. They start on just a cash basis, right? You're just trying to figure out will this idea work? And so I kind of picked this picture of all this dude, the underground entrepreneur. So he's kind of working under the table, cash basis, you know what I'm talking about, right? But the whole idea is he may be able to get his $85 a week to pay his rent. That may be all he cares to do, or that may be all that he thinks he can do. But our hope is to say, you know what, if we would get legit and build the right foundation for new business ideas, then you can actually grow. And what if you started hiring, to where they were starting to take care of themselves, take care of their families, and so forth. So some of the examples I'm going to bring in front of you are gentlemen like Brian, Rick, Chris. Those are all three guys, friends of mine, that started here at the 1-8. So they will tell you that it can be done. They know exactly what somebody in recovery is dealing with better than what I do. I like to say, I'm a recovering sinner, right? I got my hang-ups, but I can't say I had a thing of addiction except for sugar. I like sugar, and I like carbohydrates. Just as hard. Have you ever tried to get off sugar? They say it's harder than getting off heroin. I don't know, but I got evidence. Anyway, so that's a little bit about what we're hoping to do. Some of you, and some of the people I talked to, the last 3 weeks I've talked to 15 who said they were going to be here. And I know there's a lot of stuff, in the center right now that is probably more than this, but so you've got 15 people, and there's 3 of us. He came in, he just walked into the city, and said, sure. Thank you, sir. All right, next slide. So, some of the program that we're going to be doing is based off of this gentleman right here. It says, who owns the ice house? It's this guy. He's affectionately known as Uncle Cleve. Uncle Cleve lived back in the Crow era, back when life was really, really hard. He lived in the Mississippi Delta. Anybody from Mississippi? I talked to a couple of guys. He lived in the Mississippi Delta way back in the day. When everybody worked in cotton. And that's kind of what the pictures are, the cotton pictures back here. But it says 8 life lessons from an unlikely entrepreneur. So back in his day, hardly any black folks owned business. Somehow he was able to buy an old ice house. Do you know what an ice house is? What's an ice house? Right. That's right. You cut them up. That's right. You got heavy, hard wood. You cut up the blocks. And one thing that Uncle Cleve did is that he built a route. He delivered ice to everybody. He delivered ice to white folks, to rich folks, to poor folks. And they would just put a little note on the screen door back in the screen door. Saying, give it 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 5 pounds. And he'd go in the house, he'd put that block of ice in there, ice box. Whisk down, Marcel in. He probably doesn't know what an ice box is. An ice box, do you? Okay.
I used to live in the house, and instead of the others, we had a little tunnel. We had to slide on the mountain, our house on the mountain.
There you go. So that ice was in that ice box. He built that business. And the interesting thing is about his story is that he had a nephew that started to work for him. And this is the story of his nephew. So we're talking about his Uncle Cleve. And the lessons that he learned from his Uncle Cleve. Serving all those people. He talks about back in the day when they actually, the first time he went to a bank, to his Uncle Cleve. He thought banks were just where you went and got money from, right? He didn't know you put money in it, right? But back in that day, he and his Uncle Cleve, they walked around to the sidewalk of the building. Why is that? The discrimination and all that stuff. He couldn't walk in it. Like a white man. So he walked on the sidewalk. His Uncle Cleve has little dignity. He showed his nephew how to live life, even in the midst of all that trouble. Over the course of his life, he built that business. He built auto repair business. He started buying houses. He had houses all over the place, So he started building personal wealth simply because he worked hard. And can you imagine how hard it was? You hear things today about discrimination. It was nothing like back then. He succeeded. So we're using not the whole thing, but we're using some of the lessons from this, because typically this lesson, if we did this program in totality, it would probably be a semester. Okay? And I talked with Richard and Tracy about coming out here and start coming out here. They thought, let's just try it 4 weeks. We'll see if that works. See if it doesn't work. Right? It does work, then maybe we can do something beyond. Marcel asked me the other day if I gave a certificate. I said, no, first, you know what, if you guys are faithful for these 4 weeks, I'll be happy to get certificates out. Because I know that sometimes that helps parole officers, counselors, and that kind of stuff. So I'll be happy to do that as well. So Okay, let's take a quick look at this. Go ahead and play that. Go ahead and play that if you would.
In the Deep South of the late 1950s, opportunity for most meant little more than getting a job in the cotton fields, working long, hot days for meager wages. It was a time and place where few dared to dream.
I know what got me on this journey. That man, his ice house, and the way he lived his life in my presence, I can't ever forget that. It was Uncle Cleve. Here was this one man within my community that I knew intimately, that got up every day of his life, got in his truck, and went to his business. I'll never forget that.
Today, the lessons Clifton Talbert learned from watching his Uncle Cleve grow into a role as an unlikely entrepreneur have led him to success in his own right as an author, entrepreneur, and Pulitzer Prize nominee.
I was thinking specifically about me, about my journey and what had happened and what had caused me to end up at the place in my life where I now stand. And there was no question it was Uncle Cleve.
Through a partnership with the Ewing Marion Kauffman Foundation, the story has also been transformed into an interactive online learning program designed to immerse students in the entrepreneurial mindset Uncle Cleve embodied. Who Owns the Ice House? A powerful and compelling tale that distills the wisdom and influence of his Uncle Cleve into the 8 life lessons that empowered Talbert to become what Time magazine referred to as one of our nation's most outstanding entrepreneurs.
Okay, that was nephew of Clifton Talbert. Uncle Cleve was his own Clifton Talbert. I didn't know where you picked up on this. Everybody ever heard of it? Pulitzer Prize, writing, okay? He was a nominee. He was a Pulitzer Prize. I mean, that's odd. You gotta go first. You gotta go first. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Right. So these life lessons that he learned from his uncle, he attributes to the fact these kind of successes that he has in his life. That he learned these basic lessons, how to treat people, how to run a business, how to be responsible, how to save money, Also, that's sort of the foundation of our, So I want to talk to you a little bit about program outcomes. When we talk about this program, okay, what I want to try to do with this first segment is explain to you what we're going to offer to you, explain to you what we expect in return. Okay, this is a transaction. It doesn't cost you anything to come here, but return it. Okay, so. Some of you may have, I know Ross has got a degree in entrepreneurship, so jump in anytime you want to. Straighten me out, okay? But one of the things that people, I've been working with people at the 180 house for over 20 years. And one thing that I see frequently is people starting businesses here, but they're usually cash businesses, money under the table, that kind of stuff. mowing lawns. That's how a lot of people get started, right? But sometimes what people struggle with is they want to go do something themselves. Maybe sometimes the mistakes you made in your addiction, it makes it hard to get a job, hard to get those kinds of things. Well, why can't I be my own boss? Like what Brian's. Like why can't? What's stopping me from doing it? Well, one of the things that we try to talk about is opportunity identification. What do you think I'm talking about when I say opportunity identification? What do you think that is?
I know for certain if you're going to identify someone and an opportunity or someone has a greater variable rate of profit above what you know it is. So you put in $5, you got to make $5, you got to earn $5, and a little bit more successful. And the opportunity, that gives you the greatest chance because no one else sees that.
Good point. Good point, Marcel. And so, where do you find opportunities?
Where no one else is looking.
Okay. Sometimes where nobody else is looking. Something else. Opportunity. Where do you find opportunity?
Phone book, resources, mom and pop shops.
Necessity. Okay. If you can identify. This is a basic principle that I hope you can walk away with. If you can identify a problem that nobody else is solving, or they're not solving, well, they're not solving the same way that you think you can solve it. If you can identify it, it's basically being unmet. And if you can figure out a solution to that problem, you've just identified an opportunity. Right? So once that you identify an opportunity, there's a thing called idea validation. That means how are you going to figure out whether this is an idea that somebody will give you $10 for you to invest? How are you going to figure out whether that idea is worth trying and can it become fruitful to you? Okay? And so there's going to be an element of analysis and planning. Because a lot of people I'll give you an example. I was here last Thursday. So I'm on the front porch on one table. As soon as I'm setting up my little table, this guy comes walking up to me and pulls his bag out. And he's got these blood pressure cuffs. He's wanting me to buy one for $25. I've got two blood pressure cuffs at home, okay? So I didn't have a need, like Clint was talking about. He didn't know whether I had a need or not. He just thought maybe I've got $25 to give me, And I wasn't going to give him $25 because I didn't. See, he didn't bother. Asking anything about my needs at all. He just tried to give me whatever it was. So he didn't do any idea validation. He didn't do an analysis or planning. Analysis and planning can be as simple as asking questions. Branding or persistence, that's probably the biggest key to being successful. You can ask any of these guys, having businesses, how many times has been done, how many times ready just throw everything away, And then branding, we'll talk about that a little bit. Branding is who you are, what you're representing, what brand people see you. Well, like for instance, what you got on your shirt? Jordan, okay. Is that a brand? Yeah. Jordan became a brand, It's something that everybody in the aisle knows what Michael Jordan's brand. The other thing we're providing is professional network. These guys, that we can push you, it's just not going to reach your life. And because they have been in this whole journey, this whole journey of sessions. And practice of doing is where you learn so much. And this is going to be a lifelong learning. Really, these folks, when I talk with Ross, and he already had a degree in entrepreneurship, and eventually he signed up because I think Ross is really a lifelong learner. He likes to learn. All these things can be utilized in other aspects of your life. Now, if We've got outputs coming to you. And that's what you can gain from this. What have you got to put into it? Have you ever heard those saying for a computer, garbage in, garbage out, right? So what would we expect of you guys if you want to stick through with this? Well, participation in group discussion. This is not going to be just somebody standing up here lunching.
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I've been in this field before, and I'm gonna have to decline.
Okay.
Thank you for your
Okay.
time.
Thanks.
I have my signature.
You didn't state it.
It works like that.
Yes, it was. I mean, you stay today, I'll sign it. I'm not gonna have to sign it. You can slice the pizza and leave it.
I got,
Fair
but
enough.
how much time do I got?
It's a 2-hour class. So if you don't think you can learn anything from it, that's fine, Marshall. I appreciate it.
I'm about to decline.
Okay, that's fine.
I thank you for your time.
That's fine. Hey, bye-bye.
I'll figure it out.
So, you participate in group discussions, completion of projects. I'm asking for commitment to the top course, which is next 3 Monday nights. I know that things come up. Tonight, COVID stuff, and all that stuff. Things like that we can't. I'd like to start on time, and respecting other attendees. When we get into discussions, some points where there's disagreement. It's okay, as long as it's respectful. We can disagree. Is there anything here that would cause a problem? Okay. All right, here's another. Who speaking?
Put God first. Put God first in everything you do. Everything that you think you see in me, everything that I've accomplished, everything that you think I have, and I have a few things, everything that I have is by the grace of God. Understand that. It's a gift. I was sitting in my mother's beauty parlor, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I see behind me this woman under the dryer. And every time she looked up, every time I looked up, she was looking at me, just looking me in the eye. And I didn't know who she was, and I said, she said, somebody give me a pen, give me a pencil. I have a prophecy. March 27, 1975. She said, boy, you are gonna travel the world and speak to millions of people. Now, mind you, I was flunked out of college. I'm thinking about joining the army. I didn't know what I was gonna do, and she's telling me I'm gonna travel the world and speak to millions of people. Well, I have traveled the world, and I have spoke to millions of people. But that's not the most important thing, the success that I had. The most important thing is that what she taught me and what she told me that day has stayed with me since. I've been protected, I've been directed, I've been corrected. I've kept God in my life, and it's kept me humble. I didn't always stick with him, but he always stuck with me. So stick with him in everything you do. If you think you want to do what you think I've done, then do what I've done and stick with God. Number 2, fail big. That's right. Fail big. Today's the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be very frightening. It's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there, and you only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances, but don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, which you have already done, and consistency every day, not just on Tuesday and miss a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. Remember that. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I'll say it again. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I don't care how much money you make, you can't take it with you. And it's not how much you have. It's what you do with what you have. We all have different talents. Some of you will be doctors, some lawyers, some scientists, some educators, some nurses. The most selfish thing you can do in this world is help someone else. Why is it selfish? Because the gratification, the goodness that comes to you, the good feeling that I get from helping others, nothing's better than that. Nothing's better than that. Not jewelry, not big house I have, not the cars, but it's the joy. That's where the joy is, in helping others. That's where the success is, in helping others. Finally, I pray that you put your slippers way under the bed tonight, so that when you wake up in the morning, you have to get on your knees to reach them. And while you're down there, say thank you for grace. Thank you for mercy. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you for parents. Thank you for love. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for humility. Thank you for peace. Thank you for prosperity. Say thank you in advance for what's already yours. It's how I live my life. That's why I am, one of the reasons why I am today. Say thank you in advance for what is already yours. True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you, sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. I'll say it again. True desire in the heart, that itch that you have, whatever it is you want to do, that thing that you want to do to help others and to grow and to make money, that desire, that itch, that's God's proof to you, sent beforehand already to indicate that it's yours. And anything you want good, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back. Pull someone else up. Each one, teach one. Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference.
Hey, did anybody pick up the 3 primary suggestions that Denzel sent there? Ross, did you have them?
Yeah, first, put God first.
Put God first is what he said. Of course, that's Denzel's personal convictions, you know, where he's coming from. Put God first. What was the second thing?
Fail big.
Fail big. What do you think he meant by that? Fail big. Say what?
Don't be afraid to put your ideas into motion.
That's right. Don't be afraid. Clint, have you ever failed big? At least
A
once?
few times.
A few times, okay.
It takes just as long to fail small as it does big. If you've been one or the other, small and big makes a difference.
Yeah, yeah. Fail big. You know. What was the third?
How much you have is what you do with it to help others.
Kevin?
Set goals.
Set goals. Yeah. Dreams without goals, like Clint said, it's just a wish. So, you know, I've run into plenty of people through my years that say that they want to start a business or they want to do something. And they've got all kinds of ideas, but they never once take a step toward implementing those ideas. So regardless of how good those ideas are, it doesn't make any difference at all if you don't take some sort of step forward. I call it a step of faith, but it's a step of entrepreneurship. You're stepping into somewhere that you've never been before. When you step into that new place, different people are coming along, different opportunities are coming along that didn't come to you when you were back here, right? We've all experienced that, right? So anyway, yes, sir.
What hit me, I put it up top, that third one, I wrote down SMART goals, but then
Right.
talking that in school too, you know, make SMART goals and an acronym for it, you know, be specific,
Okay.
measurable,
Right.
attainable, realistic, times. And that helped me decide, first of all, that I wanted to go to school. Second of all, that the businesses that I had, I could get better at it and get a little more out of it. And like you said, in other areas too, that I like starting something and watching it.
Watch it.
Then, okay, it's going. Go over here, let's go over here. So,
We're going to take a 10-minute break. It's a 10-minute break so that people can have a smoke or whatever, but try to be back in 10 minutes if you're interested in pursuing this.
oh yes.
So about 10 minutes and we'll get back. Feel free to talk to any one of these guys too. They have a wealth of information.
Before we leave, well, yeah, that's fine. That's nice to meet you. It's nice to meet Ross. Clint Cheeks, that's Ross. Clint Cheeks, that's
Well, you probably remember.